What's good, you Tubanites? Hope you guys are hanging in there. I thought I was going to have a day off, but apparently I didn't. My man Mikey Sutton reached out to me last night, actually late last night, said, "Hey, man, I got this Spider-Man scoop. You want to run with it? Go Wolf Blitzer Situation Room on it." I said, hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I got a little something. I think it shouldn't be surprising to too many of you, but I got a bit more details on it. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I know it's like 2 p.m. in the West Coast on the afternoon, but shout out to everybody in the live chat for joining us, man. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the Cover Price Top 10 last night with our man Matt Forge from Principal Defects and Sith Lordly from Spine Ticks. Shout out to Roger Red Lodge Crow, Sith Lordly in the house with the rent, Sixth Face Comics, JLS Conan Gown, Wookie Fodder, Don't Call Me Wave. My man Erod is in there. Erod, I'm gonna send you a message later today, brother. I got some stuff I want to send to you and see what kind of turnaround time we get for some slabbing and pressing stuff. Before we get started, though, boys and girls, you know what? Since it's the spirit of Halloween, I'm going to let this rock for a while, man. So while you guys are congregating, enjoy some of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
All right. Hey, what's up to everybody in the live chat? Hey, a lot of people in there I don't normally see at nighttime. Pops Foster, what's up? I'm glad we're not past your bedtime. My man Mikey Sutton is also in the house. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. This is a Geekosity exclusive from a man, Mikey Sutton, longtime friend of the channel and official member of Lords of the Long Box. This is a Geekosity Scoop that's going to run on Geekosity Mag in about an hour from now, but I got some more details on this. It shouldn't be surprising to some, but just in case you haven't, Mikey got us some more details, and his sources at Sony on the Sony Marvel side are pretty good. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. Man, this is a lot of words, Mikey. Damn. Okay. The following is a scoop from Mikey Sutton at geekositymag.com. It's often those who we are the closest to who hurt us the most. Ain't that the truth? A few days ago, after I posted a photo of Jacob Batalon shedding substantial weight. Speaking of which, there you go. A few days ago, after I posted a photo of Jacob Batalon shedding substantial weight, I started to wonder if Marvel Studios would go there. Batalon plays Ned Leeds, and in the comics, he becomes the villainous Hobgoblin. Of course, Batalon could have personal reasons for getting in shape. I certainly did after losing 200 pounds following a near lethal stroke. That's Mikey. Congratulations. That's where Mikey got his second life. But on May 23rd, I scooped in Pete's Basement's YouTube channel that there was early discussions about bringing the Hobgoblin to live action. Could this be related to that? I reached out to a reliable source who has provided accurate information in the past, and I was told there have been talks to transform Batalon into Hobgoblin since the beginning, and the clues have actually been there in plain sight. In the comic books, Leeds wasn't Peter Parker's best friend in school. Leeds was a reporter at the Daily Bugle newspaper where Peter worked, and they both crushed on the same girl, Betty Brant. I do believe Betty Brant is Peter Parker's favorite girlfriend. Tell me if I'm wrong, Mikey. The cinematic version of Leeds is basically a substitute for Harry Osborn, Parker's best friend, as a college student in the comics. Kevin Feige didn't want to repeat what has been shown before in Sony Spider-Man movies. If he had introduced the young Osborn in the MCU, it would have easily sent the signal that he was to become the Green Goblin. But Battleon's warm, goofy Leeds, nobody would see that coming. According to this insider, Leeds will gradually change, and not just physically. The build-up to Hobgoblin will be gradual. His destiny fulfilled once he and Parker are in the college, so this will be after Spider-Man 3. Battleon and Tom Holland are going to be slightly older, and Leeds' slow transformation reflect how friendships can change in the transition from high school to college. What does Leeds turn? Why does Leeds turn into the Hobgoblin? That part is unknown. I know that Feige didn't want to adapt the death of Gwen Stacy storyline that was poorly executed in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Audiences hated it, especially since the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone was among its few qualities. However, Stacy's death was a life change for Parker in the comic books. It was his true loss of innocence. What could be comparable to that? I asked my source if that is the point of all this. The response was Parker is going to hurt, and hurt bad. The audience, who are won over by Leeds, will feel the pain. With great power, there must also come great responsibility, is a lesson that Parker will learn repeatedly through the tragedies of his life. That is, I'll go here. And I think that is one of the main reasons why Spider-Man is so popular in the comics, because we, as the average reader, can relate, right? We can't relate to Superman. We can't relate to the X-Men. We can't relate to Batman. We're not a billionaire, but we can relate to a kid struggling through college, trying to make ends meet, having problems with his girlfriends and the bills and your boss and all that. So the lead up now, for those who are interested, the first appearance of Hobgoblin is actually in Amazing Spider-Man 238. Now, there have been multiple Hobgoblins. Ned Leeds' Hobgoblin came later on, and his first appearances are really early in the Silver Age of X-Men. I would ask you in the live chat, I teased this earlier, what is the first appearance of Ned Leeds as a Hobgoblin in the comics? It's not as easy as you think. In essence, he was tricked into being the Hobgoblin. He was an investigative reporter, the Ned Leeds side. So it'll be interesting to see how they go from here. Plus the transformation of Battleon's body. Look at that. Dude shed like 200 pounds or something. It looks like a totally different person. But the interesting story is, if you think about Marvel MCU recent history, they kind of like doing this. If you think about Civil War and they pit Cap against Iron Man straight out of the comics, and it made us choose sides. And, people pick Team Cap, people pick Team Iron Man. Now, imagine putting Peter Parker through those same machinations where his friend betrays him, and everybody loves Ned Leeds in the movies, right? I mean, he's the geek on all of us, and it's his buddy. So to make that turn, now, did he lose weight for the role? We don't know. From what Mikey source is saying, this has been the plan from all along. If you Google the articles, Ned Leeds has hinted that he wants to become the Hobgoblin. Nobody believed him because he was such a likable character, but the storyline is interesting if you really dig into what Ned Leeds' version of the Hobgoblin is. Hobgoblin has been a classic Spider-Man villain for a long, long time. First appearance 238, but Ned Leeds' first appearance goes back even further. I would imagine if that book was spec'd, it would have been spec'd already by now. If once they put 2 and 2 together, that Jacob Batalon is indeed Ned Leeds. So that is very interesting, man. I don't know how someone just lose 200 pounds. I mean, most of those people are gaining weight during the lockdown. Thank you, Erod. ASM 18 is the first Ned Leeds, but there's the first Ned Leeds as Hobgoblin. That is an interesting book to try to narrow down. I think it may be later on, like Amazing Spider-Man 251. He is tricked into playing the Hobgoblin. It's not. There's about 3 different versions of the Hobgoblin. Once you remember that, the key here is they want him to do a Hobgoblin, so it doesn't matter what version of Hobgoblin. Go out and get the first appearance of Hobgoblin, which is Amazing Spider-Man number 218. There's about 61 of you joining now, so let me drop this scoop again, like I normally do. I'm just going to do it twice, so pay attention. But before that, boys and girls, you get another cannonball.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
All right, boys and girls, let me take a drink of my Courvoisier. All right, let's get to this one more time. I'm going to read through the scoop ad nauseum or verbatim, not ad nauseum. I'm going to read it verbatim. Make sure you check out geekositymag.com in about an hour. You can get the text version of this. Since you subscribe to the Lord, you're going to get this information an hour early. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. We're going to be doing part 2 of the long-term spec list tomorrow. I'll get to that before the end of the show. But here we go. I'm going to read this one more time verbatim. Following is a scoop from Mikey Sutton and geekositymag.com. It's often those who are closest to us that hurt us the most. A few days ago, I posted a photo of Jacob Batalon shredding substantial weight. I started to wonder if Marvel Studios would go there. Batalon plays Ned Leeds, and in the comics, he becomes the villainous Hobgoblin. Of course, Batalon could have had personal reasons for getting into shape. I certainly did after losing 200 pounds following a near lethal stroke. But on May 23rd, I scooped on Pete's Basement YouTube channel that there were early discussions about bringing the Hobgoblin to live action. Could this be related to that? I reached out to a reliable source who has provided accurate information in the past, and I was told there have been talks to transform Batalon into Hobgoblin since the beginning, and the clues have actually been there in plain sight. In the comic books, Leeds wasn't Peter Parker's best friend in school. Leeds was a reporter of the Daily Bugle newspaper where Peter Parker worked, and they both crushed on the same girl, Betty Brant. The cinematic version of Leeds is basically a substitute for Harry Osborn, because Parker's best friend as a college student in the comics. Kevin Feige didn't want to repeat what has been shown before in Sony Spider-Man movies. If he had introduced the young Osborn in the MCU, it would have easily sent the signal that he was to become the Green Goblin. If you guys have been paying attention to, I don't know, YouTubers, websites, Twitters, whatever, the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, has been forever teased to come into the MCU, and none of it has ever come true. At one point, some lady named Grace Randolph said the Avengers Tower was going to be bought by Norman Osborn. Well, that didn't happen. But anyway, let's get back to this. I diverge. Kevin Feige didn't want to repeat what has been shown before in the Sony Spider-Man movies. He had to introduce the young Osborn. It would have easily sent the signal that the Green Goblin was on his way. But Batalon's warm, goofy Leeds, nobody would see it coming. According to the insider, Leeds will gradually change, not just physically. The build-up to the Hobgoblin will be gradual. His destiny fulfilled once he and Parker are in college. So this will be after Spider-Man 3. Batalon and Tom Holland are going to be slightly older, and Leeds' slow transformation will reflect how friendships change in the transition from high school to college. Why does Leeds turn into Hobgoblin? That part is unknown. I knew that Feige didn't want to adapt the death of Gwen Stacy's storyline that was poorly executed in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Audiences hated it, especially since the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone was among its few qualities. I would argue Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy is one of the best Spider-Man girlfriends in all the movies. Yes, audiences hated it, especially since the chemistry. However, Gwen Stacy's death was a life changer for Parker in the comic books. It was his true loss of innocence. What can be comparable to that? I asked my source if this is the point. What is the point of all this? The response was Parker is going to hurt and hurt bad. And the audience, who were won over by Leeds, will feel the pain. With great power must also come great responsibility, is a lesson that Parker will learn repeatedly through life and tragedies in his life. Losing Leeds will be one of them. Man, that's heavy stuff, man. If you think about what he's already been through with the loss of his mentor, Tony Stark, which was a major blow to him, if you remember in the Avengers, right? That was his dude right there. So imagine, and if you've read any Spider-Man comics throughout your life, you should know about the ringers. It's Spider-Man and Daredevil have probably been the two characters that have been through the most pain in their lives. And you think about all the suffering and deaths that they've had in their lives, right? Nobody else besides Spider-Man and Daredevil come to mind that have been through all the crap that they've been through, losing loved ones. We're not talking, we won't say the Uncle Ben word, but that's always been told, it's almost Uncle Ben's death is almost like Martha's pearls dropping into movies. You're going to see it 7 to 8 times. You may see it 7, 8 more times in your life before it ends, because that is the origin that always goes on forever and ever and ever. So there you go, man. What do you guys think? Ned Leeds, Jacob Batalon as Hobgoblin, classic Spider villain, not part of the Sinister Six, but long history in the Spider-Man comics. First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 238. First appearance of Ned Leeds is in Amazing Spider-Man 18, early in the Silver Age. So the Spider-Man has a rich history. It's interesting on what they're doing now going forward. It's exciting that Sony and Marvel are able to bridge together to make these stories and make them adjacent to the MCU sandbox. So there you go, Daniel Barra, ASM 257, first appearance of Ned Leeds as the Hobgoblin. He's brainwashed into being the Hobgoblin, by the way. So with that being said, in the comics, maybe Ned is brainwashed in the movies and will turn back to his buddy. It would really see Tom Holland go through the ringer to make him lose his friend Ned Leeds. So that would be incredible storytelling, though, obviously. All right. So there, what do you guys think, man? Leave a comment in the video below. What do you guys think about Ned Leeds, Jacob Batalon becoming the Hobgoblin? Are you excited to see that? Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. We are going to have part 2 of our Mikey Sutton Secret Wars long-term spec list. This one is just as big, if not bigger, than part 1, which you can see on Monday. Yesterday was a cover price top 10. I got some exciting news. Next week, we're going to start doing 2 cover price shows. We're going to do a show on Tuesday for the cover price top 10. And we're going to do a cover price show on Thursday, which covers their newsletter. And we're going to talk about the top 10 shakers. This are high dollar books, not just hot books that jump incrementally, but high dollar books and interesting books that don't appear on our cover price top 10. So we're going to have 2 cover price shows a week. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Till next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Now let's do this!
Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here! We're back!
Let's do a job. You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.
Oh, how so?
I'll be